Welcome to Speaking Up with Jessica Dumas. I'm a certified life coach that specializes in business, leadership, and all things speaking and confidence mindset. Let's chat. Good afternoon, friends, and thanks for sharing some time with me today and for connecting with me off radio. Some of you have joined me on Instagram at jessicadumas.ca, and I love how technology allows us to connect in so many different ways. And also just a reminder that I'm the host of the Confidence and Communication podcast, and you can check that out anywhere that you listen to podcasts. I'm excited to have a friend with me here again today. Her name is Jill Featherstone. Hi, Jill.
Hi, Jessica.
Jill is a mother of 5, stepmom to 3. She's a wife, grandmother, university professor, author, entrepreneur, podcaster, and a really great friend. And she's also the author of The Tale of Tiger Lily. And in case she hasn't noticed yet, this is the introduction that I read when I introduced her at the second annual Driving While Indigenous event, which is her event. She's the founder of Featherstone Support Services, and she provides motivational workshops to youth and young adults and travels all across Canada to do that in her signature workshop, Awaken the Spirit. And she's already shared that with over 1,000 people. Mm-hmm. And this is the other thing that I added to my introduction when I was on stage introducing her. She's educated. The way that I said that sounded funny. She's educated. She's pretty. She's funny. She's passionate. And she's a really good person. And she's a visionary. And so thanks for joining me here today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yay. So let's talk about your second annual event. So it was November 17th, just passed, and it was really huge. It was an incredible success.
Yeah, it was so much fun. And, you know, the whole day that I was there, I just kept on thinking, I feel sorry for the people who aren't here.
I love that.
Because I just wanted, you know, everybody that had an opportunity to try come, just to come. I knew it was going to be a great event. And I just wanted as many people there as possible just to experience what it was that we were experiencing that day.
Yeah. And it was so fun. And I showed up the night before just to kind of help coordinate and, you know, do a couple things that way. And you can already feel the energy in the room, like when you're there the night before.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
And it was almost like, and I feel really lucky because I feel like I get the behind the scenes because, like, we're friends. So people who show up for the event, everyone had a good time. I invited a few guests, and they, throughout the day and beyond, kept saying, thank you so much for inviting me to be here. Like, everyone just loved it. So, I mean, I don't know that it would be easy for you to pick, like, a favorite moment, but what's your biggest, like, takeaway from that event?
Well, my favorite part of the day was the gala. It was the evening where we got to see everybody dressed up and everybody just unwinding from a really big day and everybody having fun and just getting up and dancing. Mm-hmm. And my favorite part of the day was when Blaine Constant started playing the fiddle and Tantu Cardinal was the first one up on the dance floor. And it was just, you know, the best way to say, all right, everybody, let's have a good time. Yeah. Let's do this.
Yeah. So Wes Studi was there. I got to be one of the interviewers on stage. And that was so much fun. And I remember at one point I looked at everyone and I just said, oh my God, you guys, I'm on stage with Wes Studi. And everyone just burst out laughing. And it was just, you know, a way to just be fun.
And a way to be in the moment, right? Mm-hmm. It's just to remind yourself, like, to stop and take in this moment. Mm-hmm. Because it's a really big thing. Like, it's just a really big moment.
Yeah. And so as Jill mentioned, Tantu Cardinal was also there. And she was so much fun. Like, these two people were there for the people. Like, they were there to share and to support, and it was incredible that you got them both there.
Yeah, it was. And, you know, what I learned from them that day was humility. that was my biggest lesson for that day was humility, because I watched how genuine they were with the people. And, Tantu said the next day that she wanted to give out as much love as she received.
Oh my God, that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
So you did this event. This was the second time, and it was huge. And you do this with some support from your cousins and from friends. And like, if anyone ever says in a room, like, thank you to all my cousins, like, Jill wins the award for that, because there were so many cousins in the room. That should be one of the Res Game bingo, is who has the most cousins in the room. But for the most part, like, you're doing this on your own. Like, this is your vision, this is your passion, and everything falls on you. And that's huge. Like, you did it the first year. How did you feel after the first year?
After the first year, I remember just feeling a real sense of gratitude, because it went so well, and all of the stress leading up to that day, it all dissipated. But then when I was getting ready to start planning for this event, all of that fear came back. Mm-hmm. That fear of, how am I going to do this? It was so much work. There's going to be so many sleepless nights. There's going to be nightmares, because, I even have nightmares about things going wrong.
Right.
Like, my nightmare this year was I forgot to pick up Tantu Cardinal at the airport. And she made it there before me to the hotel. And I didn't have anything ready for her. Like, I didn't check her into the room. Just a bunch of things.
That was your nightmare?
Yeah, that was my nightmare. And the year before, I had 2 nightmares. So it's it's those types of things. Yeah. Like, it's so much stress, and it's really scary, because it's a very, very big event. And, and I'm just, like you said, I'm just me, and I don't have... I'm not backed by an organization or, a bunch of organizations. I rely solely on selling tickets and getting people in the door so that I could pay for all of the speakers and for all of the food and the bands and everything that you see.
Amazing time. Yeah. So if anyone out there wants to sponsor or advertise, you should check this event out. It's so worthwhile. Everyone who leaves is just... like, so happy and just so uplifted, and really their lives are changed. Like, this type of event is so enriching. And to me, like, when I keep asking you about, like, doing it again, I think about how many times that a person has a big dream or a passion. And I always say to my coaching clients, like, your message or your vision has to be bigger than the fear. Mm-hmm. And you're really going through that experience right now of seeing them both on the scale, the fear, the worry, but then the passion and the purpose. Like, this is what you're meant to do. Yeah. So how do you balance that?
Not very well. But I'm led by that that purpose and that passion. So that's what drives me, and I depend on that, because I just keep telling myself, if I stay aligned with why I'm doing it, then everything is going to work itself out. Mm-hmm. If I just keep true to the fact that I just want to inspire people, I just want to motivate people, I just want people to get as much out of it as they can. So if I just keep my eye on that vision, then I have the belief and the faith that everything else will just work itself out. Yeah. And it always does. Yeah, it always does. This
is some of us call this Delulu, right? but we're also
it is.
But you can't think normal things unless you want a normal life.
Right.
Like, if you want a life that's bigger and, like, different, it's gonna feel crazy.
Yeah. And everybody's gonna think you're crazy while you're doing it.
And then you do it. And that's the reward. And then you do it, and it's incredible.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, on to number 3.
Right? And then now everybody keeps asking me, like, well, how are you going to top this? How are you going to top this? And I'm
the pressure.
Yeah, the pressure is on. The pressure is on.
We have so many incredible people in our community and across the world. It's going to continue to get better and better.
Yeah. And I feel, too, that, we're not going to run out of people. we're not going to run out of people to put on that stage.
So talented. Our people are so talented.
Yeah, for sure.
So we were just talking about like doing something bigger and different in order to get something bigger and different. And after the event, you shared with me that one of your tips or tools that you used was you kept putting yourself in main character energy. Tell me about that. What does that mean?
So in the, I guess, weeks, maybe just really the main week leading up to the event, I kept on telling myself I have main character energy over and over again. And I don't know where it came from, but I know why I was doing it. And I was trying to give myself the confidence to get out there and get up on that stage in front of hundreds of people and not feel that imposter syndrome. Because imposter syndrome will sometimes it'll break you to the point where you psych yourself out and you think like, I'm not worthy of this. I'm not worthy to be here. I'm not worthy of bringing all these people together. I'm not worthy of creating all of this space and all of this energy for these people. And so I had to make sure that those scary thoughts didn't come into my mind, and that, no, I am going to be okay. I do deserve to be here, and everybody else deserves to be here. And I do have enough energy to maintain this space and bring all of these people together. And I'm not going to get up there and fumble on stage and embarrass myself. Like those types of things. I got to scare those thoughts out of my mind. So I had to tell myself, I have main character energy and I can do this.
Yes, I love that. Mindset and confidence and, doing these things that are a little delulu, like they're all mind games. Like we really just have to trick our brain into that main character. So I love that you did that. And I love that you shared that here today.
Yeah. And you know what it really is? Blind faith. I do everything with blind faith. And that's really what it is, because faith is not just believing in yourself, but actually believing that it can happen for you.
Yes. And another thing that I want to add to that is you can sometimes feel in your heart a pull, and it doesn't always have to make sense in your head. And when it comes to, really trusting and building on a dream and passion, like that's really what has to happen, is you have to stop thinking with your head, just start feeling with your heart and making it happen. Thanks so much for being here today with me, Jill.
Thank you.
So JillFeatherstone.com is where you can find Jill and learn more about her workshops, and then the 3rd annual Driving Well Indigenous, which we still have some time to plan, so thank you for that. And to everyone listening, if you would like to work with me, I'm hosting an online masterclass on December 8th. It's called Write Your 10-Minute Talk, and this is for you if you want confident speaking to be a part of your 2024. I'm going to help you with a talk structure for 10-minute talk, and that's the perfect starting point for telling your personal or business story. You can find the application to register for Write Your Talk Masterclass or an application to work with me one-on-one on my Instagram or my website at jessicadumas.ca. Thanks so much for being here, and see you next week. Thank you so much for your time. Miigwech, ekose, merci. Get in touch with me on Instagram or my website at jessicadumas.ca.